Welcome to Surfing Australia TV, presented by YETI. I'm Vaughan Blakey, and we've got a huge show today, so let's rip into it. We've downloaded the best of the best juniors surfing clips from around the country and have picked some winners in the YETI Australian Junior Online Surfing Championships. We'll look back at the final event of the Australian and Asian World Surf League qualifying series, Newcastle's Surfest. And it's about that time of year when the reef breaks of Fiji start to light up. So we've put together some of our top moments from this incredible destination, only 4 hours away from Sydney. But before any of that, we're going to take a look at the first ever Surfing Australia Indigenous Youth High Performance Camp.
My name's Bertie Simon and I'm a proud Biripi girl, currently living on the Gold Coast, but I'm originally from Wollongong.
I'm Caden Smales, I'm a Balladong Noongar man living on Gubbi Gubbi land, and I'm a surfer.
Hey, I'm Joe, I'm a proud Bundjalung man. I currently live on Gombengia country in Coffs Harbour.
For this camp that we're running this weekend, the First Nations High Performance Program, culture was something that we wanted to embed from the very beginning of the camp.
Women Jackie Kirat means welcome, my friends. And every time that you are on country, you are connected to this beautiful ocean.
It's so beautiful down here at Phillip. Like, I've never been here before, so being here with all the boys and all the girls and brothers and sisters, and I really love the untouched feeling of Phillip and how they've really looked after this land.
At Phillip Island, I was really surprised with how warm it was. I thought it would be heaps colder because it's so far down the coast from where we are.
Coming to the first car park at Wollongong, there's a surfboard there that represents all our surfers on the island as they're connected in ways like our First Nations people. The message there is about preserving, respecting, preserving our country. Trying to leave a message for our young generation is always think about the footprint that you're leaving for your grandkids. That's what it's about. Us mob getting together wherever we are, we've got that ocean blood in us. And hopefully today he's got some pretty deadly waves, there's plenty of swell. Looks like it's cleaning up a little bit actually.
I'm a saltwater girl, so when I'm in the ocean I feel so connected to my culture and to my people, my ancestors. Yeah, it makes me happy.
We decided to bring the first camp to Victoria because, one, we had the amazing opportunity of working with URBNSURF and giving these young people such an amazing day at the pool, surfing the waves there, which a lot of them hadn't got to do before. But also, we hold the Australian Indigenous titles in Victoria, so to give them that experience of flying down, coming to location pretty far from a lot of their homes, it was just another amazing opportunity.
I was super excited to be a part of this crew, and it's really cool to have not just people like my brother here, but people I've never met before from around Australia, and they've been able to share their culture as well and what tribe they're a part of.
It's made so many new friends while I'm here, and it's such a great opportunity for everyone and real eye-opener, I think, for a lot of people who are just beginning their cultural journey and a bit involved in the community, but I could definitely do a bit more, and that's kind of opened up and inspired me to go a bit further.
At day one at URBNSURF, we had our Billabong team rider Otis Carey, who is an amazing Indigenous surfer, but also an Indigenous surfer that so many of these kids look up to. He's arguably one of Australia's best free surfers. The ranges that he puts out with Billabong with all his artwork on it, does so much to promote our culture. So to have Otis at URBNSURF was such an amazing element to the camp, and it really meant a lot to these kids.
There's nothing ever been really like this available for Indigenous surfers. So for me, as I'm in my mid-30s now, if I had this when I was younger, I felt like I would have excelled in, personal life and in my surf life. It's just a great way for Indigenous kids to connect with other Indigenous surfers as well, because there's not many of us around.
URBNSURF's just such a good place to practice, and it's awesome that we have people like Clancy down here to give us tips and make us better surfers, so it's really awesome.
Perfect wave over and over and over again, and you could just pretty much just do whatever you wanted. If you had a section or a kind of a turn you wanted to learn, you could just do You do it over and over again until you got it perfect.
We all had it to ourselves. Like we surfed the left when we first got there and then the right like later on in the day. And it was just so sick. Like we had it to ourselves, just catching wave after wave. And yeah, it was so fun, perfect wave.
We went down to the beach this morning at Cape Woolamai and went and saw Steve for the first time, and we did a smoking ceremony there, and he welcomed us to the country that he owns and he's lived on his whole life, and so was his ancestors and our ancestors.
And something that I want to highlight is through our whale songlines, they carry our ancient stories and gatherings. So it's about when they migrate up and down the coast, when they come through your place, it's about us getting together and trading and keeping that ongoing. We just did a welcome to country smoking ceremony, cleansing ceremony for all the participants so they can leave any bad energy behind in the smoke, but also too bringing waters from their shorelines and bringing them together, mixing them together and through a ceremony and bringing our ancestors together as well.
He showed us their totem animal, and I was really stoked to hear from people, especially like Jodie Barsby, about her story and how she's still discovering as well as what all of us Grommies are. So it was really cool to see that we're not the only people that are learning on this journey, and it's basically everyone that is on this camp that's learning as well.
We do need to, provide guidance and nurturing that with these kids in particular at their age that they're at now. Just keep guiding them because that's what they need. And big kudos and that, to the committee and Surfing Australia as well for it to make this happen. And I'd love to see, in the future, to see more of these camps and that happening and get more, Indigenous surfers and that involved.
Cultural identity is really important because a lot of culture has been lost with the stolen generation, so it's really important to celebrate Indigenous culture and just to share it with not only Indigenous people but just all Australians.
We also had a really cool experience with Kyle Vanderkite. He was gracious enough to come down and have a talk about his cultural identity, but also his cultural story, about how he found his way back to his cultural heritage.
So cool to hear all the mentors stories, because some of them are only just learning. Scott was telling us that he's learning a bit more about his language, and he was saying a couple of words and telling us what they meant, and yeah, it was so cool just to know that he's still learning and we have plenty of time to learn about our culture.
This camp's not only about becoming a better surfer, but it's about becoming a better Indigenous person and being able to learn so we can pass on to the next generation of people, and I'm really appreciative of this camp and super stoked to be here.
Yeah, this is a camp that I'd definitely like to see happening more because this is the first one that they've ever had, so with the new generations coming up, it'd be really good for all the young Indigenous kids to experience it, learn more about their culture and learn more about surfing and just improve them as a person.
What we've seen over the last 3 days is a really bright future for Indigenous surfing on both sides, with the boys and the girls. They've shown, discipline. They've shown, that they really want to listen and learn as much as they possibly can. And, this group's become a really tight-knit family. So, 3 days is really all you need to create sort of the bond that these guys already have.
It's incredible to see how surfing can bring communities together to share stories and create new ones. Powerful stuff. Well, after the break, we go inside the computer to crown some champions from the YETI Australian Online Junior Surfing Championships. Welcome back to Surfing Australia TV, presented by YETI. Well, the 2023 YETI Australian Online Junior Surfing Championships gives kids from all around the country the chance to compete without spending tons of coin on travel. Here are the winners of this year's event crowned by none other than a couple of world champions, Mick Fanning and Stephanie Gilmore. Legends.
Welcome to the 2023 YETI Australian Junior Online Surfing Championships. You were all ripping, and you guys scored some great waves around the country.
Now let's crown some champions. Well, that's a wrap for me.
Thanks to all the competitors that had a crack.
And especially to everyone that makes it all happen at YETI and Surfing Australia.
Until next time,
Stay safe
and keep ripping.
Wow, there's a bright future for that young crop of talent. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to rope in to the top moments from Surfest at Merewether Beach, Newcastle. Surfest has been running for over 3 decades, and it has had some epic winners in its long and storied history. As part of the festival that attracts over 800 competitors from all around the globe, it also plays host to the Burton Automotive Pro and the Speaking in Colour Pro, the last events of the World Surf League's regional qualifying series for both the Australian and the Asian regional tours, with a huge 5,000 points up for grabs. Let's take a look at the top 5 moments from an action-packed event. Number 5. At well outside the cut line coming into this event, George Pittar solidified his place on the Challenger Series when he progressed in his quarterfinal heat over the seasoned competitor, Jacob Wilcox.
I feel like I was consistent this year, but I just never had those real big results. I can't believe that I needed a semi-final to make it, and I got a semi. It's so good.
Number 4. And now to the incredible run of the young ripper Huey Vaughan. He beat out competitors twice his age, using his skills and his grom froth to get all the way to the semi-finals, ultimately defeated by George Pittar. Number 3. Snapper rock surfer Kobe Enright has been campaigning on the qualifying series for over 7 years. This year, after some consistent results, she won her quarterfinal heat to the news that she has won the regional qualifying series for 2023.
I've had results, but I just feel like every time I've had a result, I've just been like scraping through and just getting there. So I'm just like so happy that I made the challenges. I know last year I did do snapper, but I was a wild card in it, so I didn't feel like I'd earned my spot there. So I can't wait to go to my home break and surf in front of my family and all my favourite people.
Number 2. West Australian Bronte Macaulay joins the likes of Sally Fitzgibbons and Mick Fanning with 2 wins at Surfest. It was pride and prestige on the line in challenging conditions at the Speaking in Colour Pro. In the end, it was Macaulay getting the win over the adopted Newcastle surfer, Sarah Baum. Number 1. Joel Vaughan had an incredible run through this year's Surfest. He managed the highest heat total of the entire event during his semi-final against Reef Hazelwood, with 2 excellent scores of 8.5 and an 8.27. In the dying swell, he backed that up in the final over George Pittar, still managing to get a 5.83 and another 8-point ride, securing the victory and his place in Surfest history. Wow, the surfing out of the Australian region is so strong, and you can expect a big campaign from the Aussies as they push onto the Challenger Series in the coming months. Well, after the break, it's time to check your passport, pack your bags, and pack your step up, because we're going Fiji dreaming to check out some of the best swells that have ever hit the archipelago, courtesy of our pals at mySURFtv. Welcome back to Surfing Australia TV, presented by YETI. Well, with the South Pacific beginning to light up, we thought it was time to trawl through the archives of mySURFtv and have a look at some of the best sessions from our Pacific neighbours. We're going to kick things off with the Lord of Froth himself, Captain Frothy McFrothface, Thomas Victor Carroll. Light him up, Tommy.
Got herself a guitar, learned some chords, now she's going far. Lives in the back of her car, drove to the city to be a star. It's coming in slow, it's coming in slow. You were the last to know, yeah, they saw you out and told you it was okay. You were the last to know, yeah, they stole your soul, they never given it back. You were the last to know.
At only 3.5 hours from Sydney, Fiji is closer than you think. And as Macy Callahan and Kobe Enright found out, Cloudbreak can be fun at a range of sizes. Wow, what a show. What are you waiting for? Time to pack your bag, book a flight, and get some of that Fiji energy today. Bula! Well, that's it for this episode of Surfing Australia TV, presented by YETI. I'm Vaughan Blakey. Shred you later.